The American Express Gold Card has been a pretty hot topic recently, with a lot of people canceling the card and just the overall negative sentiment that is surrounding it. I definitely do understand the argument for the downsides on the American Express Gold Card and why it might not work for some people, especially if you tend to overspend to meet the credits. But I still do think that the American Express Gold Card can be a good fit for a lot of people, and it's a card that I don't plan on canceling anytime soon. So in this video, I'm going to discuss the downsides on the American Express Gold Card and why I think the Amex Gold Card has gotten a lot of hate recently. But then I'll also discuss why the American Express Gold Card is still a long-term credit card within my setup and my own personal experience with the card, with the goal of ultimately helping you understand whether the Amex Gold Card would be a good fit for your own spending preferences and your own lifestyle. As I mentioned, it's become really popular to talk negatively about the American Express Gold Card, so I wanted to start off by discussing the downsides and why it's getting so much hate recently. I think this argument really starts with the credits, because you will get $240 in total value from the credits, but the question becomes whether this really reduces your effective fee, because some people just don't naturally spend money with food delivery services, or the credits force them to spend more. They hate the upcharges with Uber Eats or on the Grubhub apps, and in general, they just don't naturally get as much value from the credits. Because of the lack of value from the credits, arguments are made for how much money you have to spend on the card to actually get enough value just from the multipliers to make up for that annual fee. So obviously, if you're in the boat of someone who doesn't get much value from the credits, this is going to force you to put in a lot more work to actually get positive value. Another reason that a lot of people are moving on from the American Express Gold Card is simply just due to cheaper alternatives that are out there that accomplish a lot of these same goals. So you have cards like the Capital and Saver One that has a $0 annual fee and just a slightly lower multiplier that can also work really well with the Venture X, or even a card like the City Custom Cash that can elevate your ceiling with that 5x multiplier. And then just with American Express in general, there's a lot of worrying about the future, because there are probably going to be a lot of card changes this year and a lot of speculation about the Amex Gold Card having significant changes, with potentially having an increased annual fee and some other credits that are added to the card. Okay, but now I want to dive into those credits and discuss if they're really that bad and my own experience with having to utilize them. So the credits on the American Express Gold Card are going to be a $120 dining credit that is split up into $10 monthly statement credits and can be utilized at places like Grubhub, the Cheesecake Factory, and Shake Shack. And then you also get $120 in Uber Cash per year, which again is going to be split up into $10 of Uber Cash per month and can be utilized at Uber Rides or Uber Eats. So the argument against those credits is that a lot of people think that there's no way to decrease your effective fee, because in almost all cases it forces you to overspend or utilize the credits when you otherwise wouldn't have, or at the very minimum pay an upcharge just to use the credits. I do definitely think that some of those points are very valid. So yes, a lot of times there is a little bit of an upcharge when utilizing some of those apps, so like Uber Eats or Grubhub, and a lot of times, sometimes you maybe have to work a little bit harder to utilize the credits each month. And so it really just depends on what your own experience is and how you're able to use them personally. Because for some people, the Amex Gold Card is a great card, and for some people, the Amex Gold Card is a bad card. But I want to talk about my own experience, because I think doing so is going to give you a relevant example that you can base your decision off of, so you can start to understand whether the Amex Gold Card would be a good fit for you or maybe not a good fit for you. So to speak on my own experience, I was already utilizing food delivery services a couple times a month anyways, even before I got the Amex Gold Card. I definitely need to work on my cooking, and I'm not the best cook, so every now and then, or if it just makes more sense with what my work schedule looks like that day, or if I have an event that I have to go to, I'll usually utilize a food delivery service, and I'll try to do that for pickup. In general, I love to stay active, so I play tennis, I go on runs and hikes, and I also play in an adult men's basketball league, so sometimes a little pregame Chipotle is exactly what hits the spot. Most of the time, what I'll do is I'll basically place a Chipotle order through Grubhub or Uber Eats, and I'll place that order for pickup. And so when I do that, it typically comes out to like $1 or $2 more expensive than just ordering through the Chipotle website. And there is a pretty fire Greek spot that I've been to in the past, and I'll usually just get like €1 for lunch, and that comes out to a little bit over $10. And I'll obviously place that order for pickup as well, so I'm basically paying less than $1 out of pocket. Again, I do understand that there is a little bit of an upcharge to utilize Uber Eats or Grubhub to place your Chipotle meal instead of just directly through Chipotle. But whether I had the Amex Gold Card or not, I would still be going to Chipotle a couple times a month anyways. So I'm basically just getting $2 to $3 Chipotle meals, and I'm getting 2 of those every month just to be able to utilize my credits, which I think is a great way to utilize them. I almost always do pickup, but I also do have Grubhub Plus through my Amazon Prime account that I get for free. So if I ever needed to, I could do a delivery through Grubhub, and there probably would be a couple other fees tacked on. But there is a Grubhub guarantee, which basically means if your meal comes a little bit late, you get like a $5 credit. And I've been able to utilize that a couple times. So when it's really convenient and I really just need a delivery, I always have that option as well. Additionally, another thing that you can do is a lot of people talk about the Capital One Saver One as an alternative to the Amex Gold card, which it can be for some people. But the Capital One Saver One can also be a great supplement to the Amex Gold card because you can utilize the Saver One to get an Uber One membership. And then you can use the Uber credit on the Amex Gold through Uber Eats or something like that to save on a bunch of those fees that are typically tacked on. Overall, in terms of my experience with the credits, my effective fee is pretty dang close to $10 because my meals come in just a little bit over $10 every month anyways. And again, these are purchases that I would have already naturally made, so I'm just utilizing the credits to offset those expenses. And the only thing that might take my effective fee just a little bit higher are those small upcharges that happen through those food delivery services. But I do have Grubhub Plus and an Uber One membership, so I save on a lot of those fees anyway. All right, so the next important factor with the American Express Gold card is going to be the point multipliers. So on the American Express Gold card, you get 4x back at US restaurants, 4x back at US grocery stores, 3x back on flights booked directly with airlines or through the Amex travel portal, and then 1x back on everything else. The credits on the American Express Gold card definitely go really hand in hand with the point multipliers because how much value that you get from the credits and decrease your effective fee to is going to determine how much value you need to get out of the point multipliers to get positive value overall. For me, I think the effective fee that I realistically get on the Amex Gold card is pretty close to $10 since I just would have made a lot of those same purchases anyways, so I naturally utilize the credits. Right now, as a married 24-year-old, two of my highest spend categories are already for dining and grocery stores, and I just expect those expenses to continue to increase as I have kids in the future. So for me, in my own experience, getting close to a $10 effective fee and then having two of my highest spend categories be those 4x categories on the Amex Gold is going to be absolutely worth it for why I'd want to continue holding this card long term. For some other people, I definitely understand the argument for a cheaper alternative like the Capital One Saver One that gets zero downside because it has a $0 annual fee and gets exposure to a lot of the same point categories. And again, a lot of that can be if you think the credits are annoying or just tough to use in general, then it makes sense to possibly go with a cheaper alternative instead of the Amex Gold card. So I think the steps that everyone needs to take here is to first take a look at the credits and see how much value you'll be able to get organically from them. And then from there, see what effective fee that you need to make up with the point multipliers. And based on how much spend you put in those main spending categories, will determine whether you're getting net positive value from the point multipliers and the credits. And then from there, you can come to an educated conclusion on whether the Amex Gold card is actually going to be worth it for you, again, in relation to the opportunity cost on a $0 fee card like the Capital One Saver One. So the next reason that I'm going to continue to hold the American Express Gold card long term is going to be because of referral bonuses. So I feel like this doesn't get talked about that much on YouTube in terms of whether the Amex Gold card is going to be worth it for a content creator, because us as content creators have the opportunity to earn referral bonuses. So I'm not gonna lie to you guys and just pretend like referrals don't exist because they absolutely do. And getting referrals from the Amex Gold card through this YouTube channel is definitely a reason that I would continue to hold it. Just a quick note for anyone who doesn't know what a referral bonus is, essentially what that means is that when someone else signs up through my referral link specifically, then I'm able to get a certain bonus in terms of American Express points from that sign up. So I always want to advocate for you to get the highest offers that you can and really look around and make sure that you're maximizing your potential welcome offers. But in general, my referral links will always be here for any of you who want to support my channel, and I would only recommend that you ever use one of my referrals only if it matches the best offer that you're able to find otherwise. In all honesty, just the credits plus referrals make the Amex Gold card worth it for me long term without any spending at all. And I definitely want to keep the American Express Gold card for the future because probably in like 3-ish years, I'm going to have kids and naturally my expenses are going to go up. And at some point, my welcome offer spend is going to go down and my multiplier spend is going to go up, which again means that the American Express Gold card is going to be really valuable to me. So at this point in the video, we've established that I'm going to be keeping the American Express Gold card long term, but I now wanted to get into some specific situations and scenarios which could be considered like the worst case scenarios for holding the Amex Gold card long term and what could make me change my mind. So the first scenario that could definitely change my mind on the value that I'm getting from the Amex Gold card is going to be if I live internationally, which by the way, I would absolutely love to do. I'm just not sure what the logistics would look like and if I'm able to make it work, but if I can, I would love to make that happen. So first of all, American Express is just not taken internationally very often, especially in the areas that I would most likely live in. So in like Panama and Colombia, when I recently went down, we basically could not use an American Express card literally anywhere. Additionally, the grocery store multiplier on the American Express Gold card is only for purchases made in the US. So obviously I wouldn't be able to utilize that multiplier if I lived internationally. And I've heard that the credits, so the Uber and dining credits, would be a lot more difficult to maximize as well. However, even in that somewhat worst case scenario for getting value out of the Amex Gold card, I would probably keep the Amex Gold card open just because living internationally wouldn't be a permanent thing, just kind of a temporary thing that I'd love to do. So I'd want to keep the Amex Gold card open for future use. Another scenario that could change my mind is if there's significant changes to the card. So again, there's been rumors about a lot of American Express cards that are going to get changed this year, and the Amex Gold card is pretty much at the very top of that list. So this could include like an increased annual fee, an additional Resi credit or something like that. And so as always, if there's a change to a card that I currently have, then I want to take a look at the full picture and see the value that I'm going to get in relation to the annual fee that I'm going to be paying. So I probably would not cancel the Amex Gold card pretty much ever based on how the card looks right now. But again, there's always a possibility that the card could get changed significantly, and then I just have to reevaluate. But in terms of whether you personally should get the Amex Gold card, I'm going to be keeping it personally, but it's not for everybody. Again, you want to understand your own spending preferences, especially in relation to the credits and how naturally that you'd be able to utilize them. You'd want to understand the value that you would get from the point multipliers and how much spend that you would be putting on them and how much points that you'd be able to generate through that spending. And then another consideration would simply be how you typically redeem your American Express points, so the value that you're going to get from the points that you're earning. But of course, I know the American Express Gold card has been a highly debated card recently, so let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are. Also, if you enjoyed this video, then I think you'll enjoy this next video where I go over 5 signs that you have the perfect credit card strategy. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Peace.